All right, one more, and that should do it. So on this last one, I'm thinking he'll just kind of be like crawling around rather than standing upright. And by the way, once this is done, I did promise we'll be doing some Photoshop. So, and I do have a particularly bloody scene in mind for that. So, once this is all finished up, I will jump right over to that. Now, there is a crawling preset that I like to use just as a base that I was fortunate enough to save. But I think, where did he go? Yeah, he's over there. I have to reset the size and whatnot. How big were they again? I already forgot. Oh yeah, 0.35. Uh, for someone who's thought about doing 3D giantess art, it's not a question of whether you want to use DAZ or Photoshop. It's uh, do you have the ability to use both? Because you're going to need to use both. Um, the more I've done this, the more I've realized that post production is not optional. If you want something that looks like it's of decent quality, you have to do some amount of post on it because there are so many things that Photoshop can do that can just beautify an image that you cannot get alone with just DAZ, or if even if you have like the a separate render engine, those can do a pretty good job. I mean, they look great, but there are things that you can do with Photoshop that you cannot get otherwise. Obviously you can't perfectly place blood the way you would want to, for example. And for somebody like me who somewhat prefers that sort of thing, that's really the option. Maybe to answer your question a little more thoroughly, it's not that you want to use one or the other because they don't do the same thing. Like DAZ is for actually setting up scenes and rendering them, whereas Photoshop is just doing post work. They're for two separate purposes completely. But I think we may run into a travesty here. I am regretful to report that I no longer have any red wine. Um, this is a problem. Ugh. All right. Oh, don't you worry. Um, even though the red wine is gone, there's always beer. And save. Okay, now just to tweak these poses a little bit, because this dude still looks a little awkward. I'm going to fix him. And this dude's knees are sticking into her gut, so we need to fix that. Let's see what this looks like from the side. Oh, all right. Goodbye, Swotor. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. Okay, so right now all three of these dudes look pretty much exactly the same because we cloned them. So I'm just going to do a little bit of quick varying of their body types and whatnot. Not really much else to explain with this, just maybe making some of them a little heavier, maybe a little skinnier. I don't know. Just so they don't all look exactly the same. And then when we get to rendering, I will, of course, adjust their skin tones so they're varied as well. What am I doing here? Make this guy maybe a little more fit. A little shorter. Why not? This guy a little thinner. All right. Then we give each of them a hairstyle. Yeah, we're not going to see any of their abs, unfortunately. Not that you'd be able to really see them at this size anyway, but, you know. What am I doing? Oh, yeah, hair. I just spazzed. Oh, her abs. Yeah. Well, you know, blocky pixel abs. Sure. Actually, that reminds me. Thank you. I need to give her a belly button because that's going to be prominently featured here. Where the hell is that? I mean, yeah, it looks like she has a belly button, but I promise you, when it starts rendering, unless you put the setting, you mess with it, it doesn't show up. So, or it just looks like it's not even there. You just see like the outline of it, like it's part of her skin, and there's not actually a depression. God, what? Why am I not finding this? Maybe I'm drunk, but I can't remember. Oh, here it is. No, okay, navel. Yeah. I was looking for belly button. Okay. So this is about the scene we're looking at here. Um, actually, I'm looking at this. Her boobs are still kind of weird. Let's bring that one a little more off to the side. And this one a little, just a touch. Yeah. Okay. Now since we got all of this wall space in the background, I'm thinking of just filling that up a little bit with, a couple of things you might find in a living room. I don't know. There were some items in this scene that might work that I hope I didn't delete. Oh, I did. Okay, great. How about a wall clock? Why not? Uh, and then it might be nice to throw like some kind of painting up on the wall, just as like some, I don't know, decor. Let's